Let's take the techniques we've just learned and apply them to correcting this animation. As I scrub through, I can see that the first section is really good. But there are some serious issues with the cartwheel. In particular, this pose, at the top of the cartwheel, the character's head goes through the ground, which doesn't look very good. So let's fix that. In our anim layer 1, we'd like to offset the body of the character upwards so that its head doesn't intersect the hands or the floor. Let's scrub through and find the problem area. It's right about there. Before setting keys, remember to set 0 keys around the area where you're applying the correction. What this does is makes it so that your layers don't influence the entire animation, just the part that you want them to. The issue is around frames 112 through 122. When we select a control in our character controls panel, new options become available to us in our keying mode menu. In particular, we're going to select full body. These controls are also available up top. Full body and body parts change the keying modes here. So now let's set our 0 keys. We're going to switch to full body again. 0 key there, and you can see that the key is added. We're going to add another 0 key at the end of the action where our correction is no longer needed. At the worst point, let's make our adjustments. We're going to grab the torso control here and lift it upwards. But you'll notice that the feet don't come with it. That's because pinning is enabled on the feet. When we're manipulating the body control, however, we want the hands to stay in place, but the feet to move along with the body. So what we're going to do is pin the hands in rotation and position and remove the pinning on the feet. This way, when we move the body control, the feet come with the body and the hands don't. They stay on the ground where they need to be. So we're going to move the body into position where we'd like it to be. And then we're going to apply our keyframe. Now, when we scrub through the animation, the head no longer intersects the ground. We can apply IK blend T and R to the hands as well, like we did earlier, to make sure that the hands do plant better. Already our animation is much better. However, there are still some issues with the hands. Let's add another layer and add those corrections. Don't forget to name your animation layers so that you can keep track of what's going on. I'm going to name this layer Torso Correction. And let's add a new layer for our hands. As we scrub through, we can see that right here, the hand seems to dip below the ground where it shouldn't. I'm going to set a 0 key right here, scrub forward to the worst part, create our correction, key that, scrub a few frames forward, and re-add our 0 key. We seem to have overcorrected a bit. Let's add another key to fix that. The hand now lifts up where it should be staying flat. That looks really good. We can also see that right here, this hand seems to clip into the ground. We could fix that by lifting the hand up, but it would start to intersect the body more. Let's correct that by adding a little bit more spine rotation. Let's do another layer. we're going to rename this layer so we don't lose track of what it is. Let's add a new layer for our second hand and torso correction and rename it Hand Torso Correction. For this, we're going to move the body upwards. But remember our pinning. Let's set pinning on the feet again so that they don't move when we move the upper torso. And release the pinning on the hand that we want to move above the ground. And now we can move the torso upwards and see that we get the desired results. Let's not forget to set our 0 keyframe where everything looks good, and then apply our corrective only where it's needed. And let's set that key. Scrub through and check the animation. That looks good. Let's set another 0 keyframe here. This looks great. Our animation is done. In the next video, we'll talk about how to apply the control rig to the actual model and export it into Cinema 4D or any other program.